I want everything, but I know it belongs to you. Let's dig in and see what this kerfuffle was all about. Welcome back to the Karmic Third Party Update. Yes, we cover this weekly. We also do have this pre-release within our membership if you do wish to join, plus additional perks. Separately, we do cover the masculine, feminine karmic, as well as the joint connection weekly. Let's get into the read and see what I see coming through this week. Now, this has been quite a challenging month. We are moving into this energy really of having revelations after the moon phase. And as we do proceed through the month, by the 27th, we're going to be having a full moon in Gemini. And this can be a lot to do with the Mercury energy, what you do versus what other people do, gossip, information coming out, especially with the Scorpionic transits. And at this point, especially by the mid-month energy, this is a turning point. This is a left or right. And I do feel this particular individual really, especially after Thanksgiving, it's almost like feeling as though they didn't get what they wanted. We're going to look at the crowning energy and tune into it a little bit further. There is this feeling almost that they don't get a break. They don't catch a break. There is a lot they need to say, and the throat chakra is really coming up quite ferociously. It's feeling as though there's some things that maybe haven't been spoken about. This could have been in a while, but there is something that they're aware of. And I do feel some of them are actually keeping this quite private. Now, this can be anything down to going through text messages. It can be their intuitive energy of the feeling of where counterpart is and what they're doing and where they'd rather be, especially for those of them that are in a third party situation. And there is this lack mentality going on. This person does feel as though they're never really satisfied with what they currently have. And sometimes it can be for very rational reasons because it feels that the connection, even if it's not a romantic one, is not in resonance with them. Now, looking to the past position, we're going to come back to this. But in the past position, this is to do with an old cycle, and I do think it is to do with divine feminine and masculine. And they feel it's almost like the Katy Perry song. It's never really over, and really trying to get into this comfortable space. They could have been wined and dined. They might have been married for some of them, but nothing is ever fulfilling them because they're always looking over their shoulder, and there is this blame energy and this dissatisfaction. Some of them are wanting, especially if they are in separation, they are wanting to return to this individual. They do feel there's unfinished business. But they do know deep down, this person does not have the same feelings for them as they have for them. And regardless of whatever that feeling is that they do have, for some, yes, it could be love. For some, it can be codependency and a notion of what they believe love looks like. Yeah, there is this. I do feel this intuition for them is quite spiking. It's almost like they're feeling the resonance of a shift within the dynamic. They also don't want the surface value anymore. They don't want things to be sugar-coated. They want to get to the crux of situations. They might have been putting a brave face on in the mix of things, but this frustration's peaking. There also could be an issue surrounding a child or children. There could be question marks to do with this area of their life in some shape or form. There also could be family members that are no longer talking. But for some, this is actually tribe, it's children. If they're co-parenting, this isn't working. Yet something hasn't changed in this and they're wondering why. I'm hearing the term a double life. For some, if they are in a connection and it's the other person's child, it feels like it's not matching, it's not vibing with them. They were trying to put a brave face on. For some, if they did have children together, again, this circumstance is very different now. It could be that they're older, or it's, again, still not the glue that binds. They don't know what to do. They're really looking at this and they're feeling they really don't know what to do. Everything they felt they wanted now is up in the air. They do know that they need to think before they speak. They do feel that this frustration, for some, they might have had a bit of a blow up. This could have been to do with all the things that they had grievances with. This has caused conflict. This might have caused an energy to walk away from this circumstance and no longer wish to talk. For some, yes, it can be family. For others, this is a romantic connection. Codependent, but nevertheless a connection. This has been something that's festering for a while. They know in their deeper conscious mind that it would be best to deal with this in a different way, but they're still going to get the same outcome. So there's an outburst here. Mentally, this has been affecting them. For some, they may have an issue with a parent figure. For some, a truth is coming out and it's shocking for them. This could be gossip. It's so eye-opening. It's almost like it's blowing their mind, but they're furious. They're going round and round in their mind. This is to do with the connection. What is it? Was it ever real? Is somebody going to come and take my cup from me? I do feel they're concocting things up in their heads. I do feel they're trying to concoct a plan. Yeah, it's almost like a witch's cauldron, trying to conjure something up. I do feel some are thinking towards the new year. This can be plans and feelings and tuning into how they're going to feel. How would Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas, all of those, like, how is that going to feel? And I'm hearing the term all that glistens isn't gold, but they're still wanting it for some reason. There's a lack of acceptance here. I do feel this individual is going to hit a downward spiral. I do feel there can be some darkness surrounding them. For some, this is a tower moment that occurs and it comes out of nowhere. And I just feel, especially with the Breath card, it's like it's such a shock. There's some shocking information that's coming towards them. I also get this very distinct feeling. If something was done in the dark and it was shady, for some reason, I feel it's coming out, and I feel they're almost like, wow, why didn't I think of that? Well, it's all, for some, they already know. They already know at some point in their life it's going to come out, and they've been living on borrowed time. I feel they're quite guarded. I feel they're trying to change it. This could be to do with love or past relationships. This is keeping them up at night. I feel they're trying to cover a situation up, but they're not getting anywhere. And all they're doing is delaying the inevitable. They've got so many fives here. These fives are really going to change situations. Spiritually, I don't feel any of us are immune to that. And I do really feel that, when I started seeing the fives with the number synchronicities, it was absolutely necessary that changes happened in my life, but I can say I wasn't ready for them. It's always on the other side of it. You know, they can be painful revelations, they can be painful endings and changes, they can be tower moments with the fives. But it is because we're desiring change, but the steps that one would need to make potentially psychologically we're not ready. So we are quite thrown in the deep end with it, especially if our guides feel it's time for us to let a situation go. It's time for us to walk away from a person, place, or thing, a job, or we're keeping in a pattern and we're afraid of it. It's almost like it becomes quite confrontational. But there's a lot of fives here on the table. You know, not accepting a wrap up with the situation. Definitely, I do see that they are running on borrowed time. It is what is necessary for this next chapter. And I do think they've been thinking on this for a long time. You know, we've got the thinker in reverse and it drops down to an 8. Very Pluto in nature, hidden secrets, hidden enemies. They're looking at the rainbow. They're really looking at a change. But this spiral, it's almost the notion of what goes around comes around. And I wish these individuals the very best. It's not like I get up on here on YouTube and go, I hope you know, blah, blah, blah. This is the energy this week. Very interesting. Come through and join us for the joint connection, should you wish to. Tell us how this lands. What goss do you have in the mix of your twin flame path, and what have you heard through the grapevine?